This is a hot mess of book reviews and me having an asthma attack and an allergy attack. Thank you. Hope you enjoy. Hello. How's it going? How's your day? How's your week? Hope it's well. For this video, I'm going to be doing books that I have read, that I have bought and read during quarantine. Last time I did like a quarantine video, it was like all the books that I bought, and some of them I've just put in my September wrap up, and some of them will be in my October wrap up as well. But these are books basically that I read like over the summer, and there's not many here because I also read like the All Saints High and the Sinners of Saints. I also read like, I've read things, I've read more than this, but they aren't books that I've bought. They've been books that have been on my shelf forever, and I just read them because I wasn't doing anything else, and I wasn't buying anything for the first like month or two of quarantine because everything was just not open. So this first book I actually forgot to put in my September wrap-up, so I'm going to talk about it first, and that is You Had Me at Hello by Alexis Daria. This follows Jasmine and Ashton. Jasmine is in, they're both actors, and Jasmine is in a lot of soap operas in the States, and I believe she's like located in California, but her family lives in New York. And Ashton is in a lot of telenovelas. So he's trying to get out of telenovelas, and she's trying to get out of soap operas. And they both get cast as the stars in this new and upcoming, it's like a new TV show on like kind of like something like Netflix and Hulu, where all the episodes will be like out at once. And it's kind of like their big breaks. So they are both really excited to do this. They're meant to be falling in love. I don't think this was necessarily a hate to love. I'm not even really sure what it was, but it like they start out like not particularly fond of each other, and it progresses into that, and it progresses into them liking each other, and this wasn't my favorite, so I'm kind of having a hard time explaining it. It is in like third point of view, which I don't think I'm a fan of. So it goes from like Jasmine's point of view, but in like third person, and then it goes to Ashton, and then it also is them, like the show. So as the episodes go by, if I can find one that does, yeah. So like it's called Carmen in Charge, and it's episode 4, and it explains to you what happens during the episode, and their love life is kind of at the same pace as what's going on in the show. I thought that was interesting. I liked that, but I feel like I didn't really connect with the characters as well as as much as I wish that I would have. That was a good sentence. So I think I gave this 3 stars because there's nothing wrong with it. It was fun to read and I enjoyed it, but it did also like take up, like, it took me time. There was also like, they both have trust issues. She's in the tabloids constantly, and he is very private about his life. He has a son that he doesn't tell anyone about, and she has just been dumped, and it's all over everywhere. So they're that's an issue in their relationship, and it's something they have to get past. And I liked it. It was like, it wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be, but it was fun. Like, I feel like I would much rather have them afterwards. Like, I feel like that would have been interesting as well. Like, I love a good epilogue where things are like kind of wrapped up, and not that it's wrapped up, but I don't know, I guess I like the afterwards as well. I like people being in love and not just like not out of love. What am I saying? I like people being like falling in love and also being in love. That's what I'm trying to say. So I like them falling in love, and like I like to see the cutesy stuff like that. Yeah. Next is By Your Side by Casey West. This is my first Casey West, and I thought, actually, that's a lie. I tried to read, it was like Fake Boyfriend or something, where she, like, the girl, I read, like, the first, 15 pages, and I was like, I cannot do this. And the next day, I gave it to my thrift store, and, I never thought about it again until right now. So this is actually technically my second, but I finished this one. Hold on. So what happens in this book? This follows Autumn and Dax, and Autumn is in the library with her friends, and they go out. They're like gonna go somewhere, and she's like, hold on, I have to pee, and she leaves her bag in the car, and she goes back into the library, and they leave her, and she's locked in the library, and then she finds Dax, and they're stuck in the library for like the weekend or so, and it's like Martin Luther King Jr. Day is on Monday, so it's closed for an extra day, and they're like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? He is planned for this. Like, he has a bag and a sleeping bag and like a hoodie and food, and like he's like prepared for this. And like them being stuck, I like that stuff. Like, oh, they're stuck together, how is this gonna like happen? Like, how I just like that. I think it's fun. So I did like this, but it did seem at times very like out of this world, and kind of like, what kind of friends don't notice that you're gone like the entire weekend? Do you know what I mean? Like, it kind of just seemed like, okay, I understand if two cars are full, but you get somewhere and then a bag is still in the trunk, and one person who you like and you think likes you, and your friends, like your supposed best friends, like don't know that you're gone and don't inform anyone. Like, it's just like weird to me. Hello, so I'm currently editing this, and I'm realizing that I'm wrong and I'm sounding like a jerk, but I just wanted to clarify that her friends do realize that she's gone, and that her bag is in the trunk and stuff, and once they get to their destination and one of them leaves to go find her, like, he goes back to the library, but on the drive back something happens to him. I'm not exactly sure like who calls the police and is like, she's missing, but yeah, I just wanted to make that clear because I sound like it's such a jerk. So yeah. And I can't remember if her parents call the police, but like, this is a spoiler, but something happens to her. Like, I think she has a panic attack, and Dax, who excuse me, is in foster care, he would get into serious trouble if they found out that he wasn't at his house, like the police, and he basically, his foster care, like his foster parents are very kind of like, do whatever you want to do, and they put his bag on the porch and were like, skedaddle, get out of here. Okay, I also don't think that this is making sense. It's not making sense to me, so it can't be making sense to other people, but basically Dax is in foster care and he has gotten into trouble, and these foster parents are very lenient and very much like do whatever you want to do, but also they kind of kick him out at times and say, don't come home. So they leave his bag on the porch and he goes to the library, and he is not supposed to be gone, I'm assuming, because he's gotten in trouble, and so if he gets in trouble again, he will have to go to a group home. So that's why he doesn't want to pull the fire alarm during the book. And so he pulls a fire alarm and they get out of the library. And then it's kind of like after that is kind of like how they're handling life outside of the library, because they do like each other. This was cute. It's YA, and I like YA, and sometimes I don't like YA. This was kind of in the middle for me, kind of like You Had Me at Hola. So I don't really know. I don't know. It was kind of just, it was fun. It only took me a day to read, so I did like it though. So next book is The Wrong Side of Kai by Estelle Mescain. This follows Vanessa, and Vanessa, I feel like I've talked about this before, and I can't remember if I have or not. So if I have, I'm sorry. If I haven't, here we go. The Wrong Side of Kai, it follows Vanessa and Kai, and Vanessa has been dating this guy, Harrison, and they go to a party, and she basically does like a striptease, and he records it, and then it's sent out, and she meets Kai the day after it's leaked because she has to go to the office, and Kai's the new kid, and he's like, let's get some revenge on Harrison because I don't fucking like him either. And so it starts with them, and they're just like, revenge. And I thought this was fun. I really enjoyed this. I was reading reviews, and it was like, why would someone like this? This is like, everything they did was illegal, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, who wouldn't want to smash someone's tires if they leaked out a video of you stripping for them? I would love that. Like, is it okay? No, but I would still want to do it. So, like, what they do to him is fun. Some of it is illegal, some of it is just, like, he goes to, like, Bob Evans every Wednesday with his dad, so they go on Tinder and just, like, swipe right on everybody. And are like, meet me at Bob Evans on Wednesday. So, like, women are just showing up at Bob Evans while he's with his dad for dinner. I thought that was, like, fun. Like, it's not illegal or anything, but that's just what this is. It made me laugh. I hardly ever laugh out loud with books, so I really did enjoy this, and I enjoyed their relationship, the progress of their relationship, because it really does go from, like, friendship, like, not knowing each other, to friendship, to like, and it was nice. I guess I'm not really an insta-love person. I like that progress and all that jazz, so yeah, I liked this one. The next one is Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. I read this in a day as well while I was camping. I feel like reviewing this will give a lot away, but this is basically about Will. His older brother, Sean, has been shot, and so he gets a gun out of his brother's dress dresser, and he gets onto the elevator to go kill the guy who killed his brother, or who he thinks killed his brother. And basically every level is someone who has died by gun violence. And they talk to him and explain how you don't know who actually killed him. You don't know what happened, how it happened, like all of the parts to it, like all of the unknown things. He's just doing something because it's a rule. And I thought this was fantastic. It's written in verse, so it's all written in poems. Which people say verse, and I was like, I don't know what that means. But I really loved this. It was gonna be like a 4-star for me, and then the last page, the last line, like blew me away, and I was like, oh my god. And I gave it 5 stars. So I highly recommend this. Like, it was fantastic. So read it. And I know there's I don't know if it's already out. I don't know why I do this with my hands, but there's a like a comic book, like drawings of it coming out. I'm an idiot. I don't know what it's called. So the next book I also read while I was camping, Beach Read by Emily Henry. This follows Augustus and I can never remember their names. January. Follows Augustus and January. And January, her father has just passed away, and so she goes to his beach house in Michigan, which is where I'm from. So that was fun. And he has had this beach house because he was having an affair with another woman, and so he's given it to her, and she goes there because she has serious writer's block, and to kind of put everything away, like to sell and to get rid of, and to get rid of the house because she doesn't want it. And the guy next door, Augustus, is like her longtime enemy. They went to college together, and he also has writer's block, and they decide to switch genres. That's a word. So she writes romance, and he writes literary fiction. And so they switch, and they help each other write. So she takes him on like fun dates, like they go to a carnival and stuff like that, and he takes her on like interviews because he's writing about a cult. And so he takes her on interviews and to like where a cult lived, and it like burnt down. And I really loved this. It was so fun to read. It also is very like serious and kind of depressing at times because January is dealing with the death of her father and having to deal with the fact that he was having an affair, and her mom, I believe, knew about it. It is in one point of view, which I think I've said this like constantly. I'm not opposed to one point of view, but I do like dual point of view so much better. So I loved it. It is like her thought process, like dealing with her dad, and things happen with Augustus, and it's just, I feel like this was a great debut novel for her, and I will definitely read more. What I'm saying about the depressing thing is it's definitely not a beach read. It's not something that you sit down and you're like, finish it in a day and you're like, that was fun. Like, it is fun, but it's also depressing. So I highly recommend this as well. I'm sorry, I keep sniffing and like swallowing. That's gross. But my nose. The next book I read is One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. Ooh, this was a book. This follows B. Shoemaker, I think. And this is, so basically there's a TV show, Main Squeeze, and it's basically like The Bachelorette. I don't watch The Bachelorette, so I don't know if that was my issue with this or what, but I was not a fan of this. It follows her, and basically Main Squeeze is like only giving bachelorettes that and the bachelors that are like the typical like blonde, skinny, pretty, like no plus size or people of color, that type of thing. And she posts on her blog, she's like, this is not okay. I think we should do something about that. And so it like blows up, and the new producer is like, hey B, I want you to be the new Main Squeeze. And she's like, okay. And she's kind of like iffy at first, but she does it. And I feel like this had a lot of potential, and it just really fell flat. I didn't like B at all. She was very like confident in herself, and I understand as a plus size person that like it's difficult to do this, to put yourself in this situation. Any person, like, to be like vulnerable and do all this stuff, but like she came off as like whiny and annoying, and I hated her. And she was just annoying, and I don't know how else to put it. I just didn't really like her, and I wish that I did, because it was just frustrating. And I guess I just didn't like the book. I think I gave this 3 stars though, like, because it was fun at times. Like, they have like this they have the text messages, and like they have what is it called? Like, there's like, apparently there's groups that like guess who she's gonna pick in like real life, and they have like a group chat for those people doing it for Main Squeeze, and they talk about the things that happen on the show. I thought that was fun. I did like the ending, because I did like the guy that she picked, but I feel like it just had so much potential, and it was so like because like the scene where she's on the boat and they like give her these bathing suits, and she's like, I'm not wearing those. And it's like, have them put something on over it. She like ends up doing that, but it like, I just didn't understand some of it, I guess. Like, why is she not being talked to about what she's going to wear? Like, you have to fit these things, and I just didn't get it. And like, people were assholes, like the men were jerks. And it just, I just didn't like it. And it felt very like it was meant to be like body positive, and it didn't feel like that, because people were just like being jerks, and I didn't get it, and I didn't like it. Hello. So I just wanted to say that this might be a spoiler, but the one guy that does not fat shame her is the one that she picks. And yeah, so I just wanted to say that, to like kind of like make that clear, that like not everyone was fat shaming her, excuse me, out of like the 25 men that are brought onto the show. And I didn't like that. So yeah. And maybe it's because I don't like The Bachelorette, like I don't watch that stuff. I'm a sucker for like the Kardashians and stuff, but that just, I mean, I was sad about it because I was so excited about it, but what are you gonna do? Next, and last is Sparrow by L.J. Shen. This follows Troy Brennan and Sparrow Rains. And Troy, is the son of a dead mobster, and he is the fixer. So basically, he fixes your mess. Like, if you kill somebody, you call him, you pay him, and he gets your shit together. Like, he's like buries the body somewhere. And Sparrow is she's like kind of like they grew up in the same town together. Like, he was a couple years older, but they grew up together, and she's still poor. Like, they both grew up kind of poor from what I can remember. I don't know if he did, but she's poor and he's no longer poor, and her dad is an alcoholic, and Troy's like, I'm gonna marry her, and she's like, so they get married, and that happens. And this was fun. I need a different word for when I enjoy a book, because I just say fun. So this was a joy to read. I did like this. There were some things that I was kind of like the fact that, like, this isn't, I don't know, sometimes I like arranged marriages, and then sometimes I don't. Like, this felt very, like, pushed, which I guess is an arranged marriage. Did y'all ever watch that show Arranged a couple years ago on TLC? Was it TLC? Like, I loved that show, but this felt like a lot. And I did like it, but it was just kind of like, there was some abuse in it, but other than that, it was fine. And I don't really know what else to say about it. But I do like L.J. Shen. I think I am liking her series more than her standalones. I've literally only read Sinners of Saint and All Saints High, and this. I just ordered The Hunter, which is another spinoff of All Saints High. So, yeah. I didn't really talk much about this. I don't really remember much about this, to be honest, which is kind of sad, but I mean, it was good. And she seems to she seemed like she had like a good head on her shoulders, and she kind of like raised herself type of thing. And I think this was kind of like a savior complex as well. Like, he wanted to be like, I'm gonna save you. And she was kind of like, I don't need you to save me, but I do love you towards the end. And he said something, and it was so funny. And it was kind of like, he was just an asshole. And he didn't really redeem himself in any way, in my opinion. Like, he says something like, I'm an asshole, and I'm always going to be an asshole, but I love you. And it's kind of like, you can be an asshole to people, but, like, don't be an asshole to your wife, that you, like, literally made her marry you. Like, try to find a little bit of goodness in your heart. So, that's it. I thought there would be more, but this is 27 minutes long already. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Follow me on all of my social medias if you want to. That will also, I'll have them linked down below. All that jazz, like Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Goodreads, because I update my Goodreads as soon as I finish a book. Yeah, comment if you've read any of these and you liked them. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.